I'm in a weird spot at my age where I learned how to edit via tape. I was one of the last groups of kids in high school to learn how to edit via tape and how to do anything analog. And then it went digital, and now it's all IP based with SMPTE 2110 and all the IP based cameras, the NDI cameras, all that.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
And welcome back to the Tiberius Show today. And I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, we're looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Well, you know what? Today's guest, he's very interesting. And you know what? He's someone who works behind the scenes on some of the biggest screens, the loudest stadiums, and the coolest theme park rides on the planet. So, you know, if you ever watched like a huge football game on TV or like seen a giant video wall at a concert or ridden on like an immersive theme park attraction, there's a good chance someone like today's guest made sure all the technology actually worked. So, you know what? Please welcome the one, the only, the amazing, the high-tech pro himself, Bryan Zebleckes.
One of the best intros ever. Thank you, Tiberius.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, thank you for being on the show in the first place.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
So, Bryan, you're a global project manager and a broadcast engineer. So, for the kids that are listening who have no idea what it basically means, what exactly do you do?
So for project management, my job is to, like what I like to joke about is herding cats. So my job is to take all of the chaos and calm it down and make sure everyone knows the direction they need to go to make a project happen. For me, I specialize in the broadcast and video engineering projects. So it's always based around large LED walls, projection mapping, broadcast systems like you guys have here, things like that.
Like what my dad does.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then before that, I was a broadcast engineer for about 15 years between the NBA, big concert tours, things like that, and then I would freelance for random shows throughout, around the world. So,
there you go.
Basically, my job is to make fun events happen. So if you pay to be an event, there's a lot of people behind the scenes making that event happen.
Oh, yeah.
So I get paid to be where people pay to be.
Okay, there you go. That's some good money then. So when someone says broadcast engineer, what does that exactly mean in real life?
So to make a broadcast happen, there are hundreds to thousands of people depending on how large the broadcast is. So right now, we're filming this during the Olympics. There are tens of thousands of people working on the Olympics, and the broadcast engineer's job is to know a little bit about each person's job enough to be able to fix their equipment. So our job is to set up a day in advance, week in advance, month in advance. So when the crews come on site for the event, they can pick up their camera, they can pick up their switcher, and actually operate throughout the event. But then during the event, if you do your job well and everything goes smooth, you kind of hang back and watch the event and get to experience everything going on. But you're paid accordingly, so when things do go wrong, you know how to go fix it and where to put out the fire and all that. So it's the epitome of jack of all trades, master of none.
There you go.
Kind of position, yeah.
All right. So were you the person like sort of in the control room making sure like millions of fans could see every single touchdown?
Kind of. So my job is to make sure that the producer and the director have every camera, every audio source, every graphic at their ability to do the show and tell the story that they want to tell of the game that's happening. So I do make sure that it actually goes out to your house at home. I take the transmission feed and I send it out to your network or your internet streaming service.
That's cool.
But I don't actually call the cameras. That's a director. I don't
that's a director
actually
move. Right.
do the technical directing of switching between cameras. That's the technical.
So that's
director.
what my dad does.
Yes.
My dad does the technical stuff with
Yes.
like changing cameras.
Yes.
So you make sure that they have the cameras available.
Yes.
There you go. Okay.
If a camera lens gets broken, it's our job to go fix it.
Or if it gets signed by a famous player, how to go fix it. Yeah.
Exactly. So our job is to make sure and work alongside the producer and the director to make sure that they have every tool to their ability to tell the best story that they can. That's basically our job.
Well, have you ever had a moment during like a live sports broadcast where something almost went wrong?
I've had people turn off our transmission feed during the game. I've had people plug in power backwards, which electrified the entire, courtside table at an NBA game, which blew up all of our switches and monitors and everything. And you have to rally the troops and get everyone to rebuild everything before the game happens. Or in the case of the transmission feed going down, trying to figure out what other backup feed you can get, things like that.
Then make them send it to them as well, and just actually still get it there.
Exactly, yeah. So your job is to make sure that, or my job is to make sure that, when things do go wrong, I know how to calmly and quickly fix it. So you're not losing tens to hundreds of millions of dollars based off that broadcast. Yeah.
Well, you've also worked as a technical director in some theme parks.
Yep.
Does that mean that you helped make rides feel real, like flying through a movie?
Yeah. So the job is to, work with the creative producers, the media teams, the mechanical engineering, electrical engineering teams with how the ride can function and work. But then our job is to basically get like things like lip sync correct, which in a normal broadcast environment is pretty simple. You put a time sync generator and everything follows along. On a ride, you can't attach to things physically, so you have to do a lot of things wirelessly or look at the timing and adjust it frequently. So a lot of it is actually riding the ride hundreds to thousands of times to get that one character's voice to match, or if they're making a snap, the snap and physically and audibly are aligned. And
because I've seen a ride where it was like completely not working.
Yes,
it was so off,
and that's when people get motion sick. So that's why it's actually really critical. If the motion of the video and the motion of the ride vehicle aren't in sync, that's where people get motion sick,
and they're like, oh, I don't feel good.
Exactly.
Luckily, I play a lot of VR, so when I see like technical problems and I see like stuff's off center, I'm like, oh, that's fine.
See, VR makes me extremely sick.
Yeah.
I can't do VR at all, so I sadly can't do that.
I like playing flight simulators with them. We have a flight simulator in the front room where you can put on a VR headset and actually like play as you're riding the plane. I'm like, that's cool.
That's awesome.
That or Gorilla Tag where I'm just like moving around super duper fast. I'm like, that's always fun. But did you grow up always loving technology, or was it not the case?
I think technology found me. So I was adopted when I was going into third grade, and I was the new kid at school. I was the weird kid because I was adopted. Everyone knew I was. So the nuns at my school, got a grant for new computers, and we found a couple of cameras laying around. And we made a little makeshift TV studio in our grade school. And we also were IT support for the school as well. So I started doing it in grade school, kind of like yourself. And then when I was picking my high school was the only one at the time that had a TV productions class.
Yeah.
So I started doing that for my freshman year, and my dream job at 13 was to be an NBA or NFL broadcast engineer.
Oh, and you did it.
And I was able to do it. I was able to do it, which was awesome. So,
nice.
I didn't always love tech, and but it found me, and I still love tech, but my personal life I am very analog. But in my professional life, I absolutely deal with high tech all day long. Yeah.
I'm always a tech guy. I have to be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you expect? I live in a house where we have a hallway just full of old computers, and they still work. So
very cool.
Like, I kind of have to learn a few things. I built my own PC, and my dad tricked me into it. I'm like, yeah.
Yep, that's how that
And
happens.
it was a good PC too. I still use it. It's gonna last me till I'm a senior, and I'm a freshman. Wow. Yeah, but what's the hardest part, as working as a broadcast engineer?
So because you have to work with each and every single division, not just the in the truck engineer or the in-house engineer. You also have to work with the creative side. So you're working with a lot of different personalities. You also have to remember that it's not always your content. So I started off as a content creator, making videos and highlight videos for football teams, things like that. But on the engineering side, I have to pull myself away from the content. So that's difficult at times, remembering that my job is to make the content look as good as possible and make my client, even if it's my coworker, my client happy. So that, but then also staying calm under all the pressure. On game days, my heart rate is between 110, 150 all day long. So staying calm under the pressure, and because if you panic, everyone else starts.
Everyone else is going to start panicking because you're the one that's mainly in control of all the panic.
Exactly.
You control the chaos. If you let it go, everyone's going to experience the chaos.
Exactly. So all the different personalities and being able to get them to gel and put together a great show for people at home or people in the stadium, and then also just the pure chaos of it all and keeping yourself calm in the mix.
It's like sometimes you can be like, I feel so calm. Next minute, oh no, 53 just went off.
Yep.
But what's something that would surprise people about your work?
It's one of the few remaining, in my opinion, blue collar, really good paying jobs that are out there where you can start off as a utility where your entire job is to grab cables, pick up cables. We call it stadium juice. So basically every time someone spills their beer or soda or whatever in the stadium, well, it's falling down on the cables that you ran for the broadcast. No. So you start off your career and it's very a back-breaking job. And even when you get further in your career and you're running a camera, those cameras are not light. No, they are not. And they're expensive. Those big 75 by lenses are $250,000 a piece. Too expensive. It's still a very blue collar. It's very physical. It's something that a lot of these broadcast trucks like Game Creek and Mobile TV Group, they actually have apprenticeship programs. So if you're coming out of high school, you can join their apprenticeship program and learn it that way. So
that's what I'm trying to do with engineering right now. I'm trying to see if I can get a mini internship real quick.
Yeah, so like a lot of these places have things like that, and you don't actually have to go to college to be a broadcast engineer. It helps. Don't get me wrong. But it's one of those careers where a lot of people think you need to go to school for, but if you're really passionate about it, you can get an apprenticeship or internship with these trucks and do it the hard way, or get on a tour and do it the hard way. But it is backbreaking. It is you're home very infrequently. When I toured on concerts, I'd be gone for 3 to 9 months at a time. So that's something that people don't realize about the job. Like, I got a buddy right now that just did the Super Bowl, jumped on a plane that night and flew to Milan to go do the Olympics. So you're not home very often. That's the down part about it.
Yeah. Well, here seems like a good time to a little quick commercial break. So you know what? Let's hear it from our sponsors.
Sounds good.
So you want to make an ad for your company, right?
Yeah, Tiberius, you want to help me?
Okay, so what's the name of the company?
PPWND.
PP what?
Professional Pressure Washing and Detailing.
So you like clean driveways?
Yeah, like that. We pressure wash commercial buildings and semi-truck and trailers.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
They can visit my site at ppwnd.com or call me at 407-900-7793.
So I just tell them to call you at 407-900-7793 or visit ppwnd.com?
Yeah, Tiberius, you got it.
Cut, that's a wrap. Just use that.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And we're back here with Bryan Zebleckes. the broadcast engineer, the global project manager, and the tech problem-solving person that we all know and love. So you know what, Brian? Let's talk about sports for a second.
Yes, please do.
When people are watching a big game at home, what don't they realize is happening behind the scenes?
Just how unbelievably professional everyone is in the truck. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been in very unprofessional ones, but some of the best shows, everyone is very calm and quiet. And during the big moments, we're all fans as well, but you have to be able to put that aside from you. Yeah. So I've been in the room, I used to work for the Orlando Magic, and we won a game with 0.4 seconds left on the clock. And all of us work for the team. We're all really big fans of the team, but we have to get the shots right. We have to get the LED cues out so we can get our sponsors out.
You can just let go of the camera and be like,
exactly.
Yeah,
so
you have to actually get it on camera.
It's really amusing that in those big moments or those big dunks or that insanely crazy catch that someone's made, of everyone gets really excited, but not just for the play, but to be able to
get it on
camera, send back the replay. And there's a lot of videos that are coming out now, which I love, of watching the director and producing staff with their support staff, like the replay operators, things like that, jumping between shots and how just actually live it is.
Oh, yeah.
And you're looking at about, anywhere from 10 cameras to hundreds of cameras and trying to figure out instantly which is the best shot.
Yeah.
So that special moment, there's one from the Super Bowl of Charlie Puth singing the national anthem, of the operator swinging around to see, the planes flying overhead, and then come back to Charlie, and that is all done off the cuff, freestyle. None of that's is done. Like, they'll talk through it in the pre-production meeting, but you don't know when that plane's actually going to fly over because it can come wrong. I've done that before.
Yeah.
But
it's super hard to do.
It's so much of it is a lot of really good planning, but then also a lot of just in the moment instincts of just repetition of doing shows. But just how unbelievably calm it is sometimes.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it's going to be chaotic in the truck, and everyone's professionals. So it's very, everyone knows their job and everyone does it well. And my saying to my guys in my crew was always, don't suck, because I ask you to do the best you possibly can. And
it's exactly what my bowling coach says. Don't suck.
Yeah, and as long as you're trying your best, things happen in life and in live broadcasting, and you just have to move on with it. So, yeah.
So does working like live sports make you nervous, or do you love the pressure?
So depending on what time of my life you ask me. So in the moment where I was working broadcast day in and day out, I used to have identity crisis, because when I took over in the NBA for the Magic, I was 24. I was the youngest broadcast engineer by a long shot, and I didn't believe I should be there. And everyone I took over for were significantly older than me. My mentors in the industry were a lot older than me, so I didn't think I belonged in my position I was in, and that part I don't miss, and that caused me to have a lot of stress and a lot of pressure that I put on myself. And I didn't believe everyone when they were saying how good of a job that I was doing. It didn't take until many years later for me to realize, I actually am pretty good at this. And that's the big struggle of the stress and the pressure. It was mostly internal. It wasn't external.
It's also a lot of things during sports. Some kids are like, I don't know if I truly belong here, because all these other people are doing such amazing things, and I'm doing them too, but I just don't see myself doing that more.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm like, I get it.
And I missed
you're doing good.
I missed making videos. I missed editing things, and I realized, look, I'm a support staff person, and for me, I love supporting people. I love feeling needed. So being an engineer was a perfect place for me to be.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs you.
Yeah.
So
everyone needs you.
Eventually, I started to, and because of that, once I made that realization, I started relishing and loving that pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the largest changes that you've seen over the last 20 years that you've been in this industry?
How quickly technology has changed from when I started doing this till now. So I'm in a weird spot at my age where I learned how to edit via tape. I was one of the last groups of kids in high school to learn how to edit via tape and how to do anything analog. and then it went digital, and now it's all IP based with SMPTE 2110 and all the IP based cameras, the NDI cameras, all that. So being able to keep up with the technology and how fast it moves, but then also just how fun and loving everything is. When I first started off, everyone kind of held close to their chest their jobs because they were afraid of losing it. Now everyone teaches each other, and they show each other the tricks, and it has nothing to do with age. Like, everyone across the entire industry has realized, no, if that person gets better, I get better. So it's been really fun watching the broadcast family and the touring family become a family where we're excited, excited for each other. And like, I may be losing, but because you're winning, we're all winning. And that's exciting for all of us. So that's been the best change, in my opinion, is watching everyone have each other's back. And again, it has nothing. I don't know why it changed or how it changed, but everyone just started realizing that we all need to kind of stick together, which has been fantastic to watch.
Now, I know one of the things that are most controversial in the tech area is AI. Do you think that AI is like going to make it positive changes or like a negative change to the industry?
So I think it depends on how it's used. I don't like it being used for anything creative. I don't like it being used for replacing camera operators and physical jobs. So I personally use AI. I've got severe ADHD. So I handwrite all of my notes. So I use AI to organize my notes and organize my thoughts and the kind of the side tasks that I really just don't like doing. But luckily in our world, a lot of it still needs a physical touch. So you still need to physically plug that camera in.
Still need to physically, actually make something. That way they can actually use it.
Where it's gotten good is helping process analytics for sports. It's also gotten really good at for some venues, like a lot of Division III schools are using 4K or 8K cameras and have one camera. Well, that school 5 years ago couldn't afford any cameras, but now they can at least afford one and one operator, and now they can broadcast. So there's some good, but I'm always wary about the creative use of it and how it affects audio and likeness of people and the computer graphics operators, things like that. There's pros and cons to it, obviously, but it doesn't make me nervous because at the end of the day, it's hard to replace what we do.
It's part of the reason why I'm not in high school doing my actual school's TV broadcast is because I wanted to let the other kids also learn how to do it. Because I already do it as a job. I already do it here. It's like, why do I need to do it at school if I want to let them learn? I can teach them a few things if they really need it, but I like to help and I like to be behind the scenes sort of and watch it, but not really partake in it because I already know how to do it. I want to let them learn. I think that's like really cool, and that's why I love this job. I actually want to do what you do when I grow up because I think that would be like the best job for me, which is really nice.
It's a lot of fun. Like when I started off in high school, my nickname was Director Z because I directed all of the morning shows, and even as a freshman, I kind of held the whole kind of class together. After our TV teacher retired, Mr. Mullins was a huge influence on me. He would stay till 11 o'clock at night letting me edit videos and run cables throughout the school so we can get HD signal from composite, that kind of stuff. Wow. And having him in my life in high school really kept me going forward with where I am now. But yeah, it's so much fun.
We just had a teacher swap, so it was like super duper hard to start it back up all over again.
Yes, it is.
Teacher made a very bad decision. Not gonna really go into it, but made a bad decision. Not good. We're starting it over again, but you have to learn. You have to learn how to actually restart everything, get back to where it was normally. But you know what? I have a really good question. What's the best advice that you would give a teen or a kid today that is thinking about working in, this behind the scenes area of entertainment?
So don't be afraid to bounce around between the jobs that you have. So, a lot of people focus on, I really want to do audio. Well, I want to do lighting or I want to do video. So my first job interview down here in Orlando was at Disney. to go do, AV work, and I didn't know lighting. I knew nothing about lighting. And the person interviewing me gave me advice and goes, hey, look, I loved interviewing you, but you only know video. It's the only thing you know.
That's fair.
You need to go learn audio. You need to go learn lighting. Go get a job doing hotel AV or, just some weird one where you can learn it. So my best advice is go learn a little bit about everything. Don't just do audio. Don't just do video. Don't just do lighting. Not saying that you need to be experts in all of it, but know enough that when you're on a show, you can help out.
Yeah.
Or you can at least understand what's going on. And get weird certifications like rigging or the show electrician certs. They're out there. So you can keep yourself safe.
Of those jobs,
yeah, so you can keep yourself safe as well. So keep yourself safe and learn as much about everything as you can, because you don't want to interview for a job and then go, well, you're missing this one thing and you really need to learn it. There's a really good piece of advice from the cast member from Disney who helped me out there. So, yeah.
Well, you know what? On that note, let's take another quick break just to pay some bills.
Yeah.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we're back here with the incredible Bryan Zebleckes, tech leader and world traveler. So Bryan, I also heard that you were chairman of Big Brothers Big Sisters in Central Florida.
Yes.
So why is mentoring important to you?
So I've been a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters since I was about 5 years old. My birth mother and I were in a severe car accident when I was 3 years old. I was raised by my grandmother and miscellaneous family and other living situations. And my grandmother knew I needed a positive influence that wasn't coming from our family because I didn't have one. Yeah. So she signed me up for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Delaware, where I'm from. And I met Janet, who became my big sister. And then her boyfriend at the time became my big brother. They eventually got engaged, and my grandmother couldn't raise me anymore, so they adopted me. So my big brother, big sister from Big Brothers Big Sisters became my adopted parents. She and I stayed spokespeople for the organization all through grade school and high school up in Delaware. And then when I was working for Coach Dunphy at Temple University, he required everyone to do charity work. So I became a big brother. He heard my story, and Coach Dunphy was on the board in Philadelphia. He had me give a speech to the board about my experience. I was a big back in Philly from 2006 to 2010, and then when I moved here to Orlando, I became a big in 2013, 2014, and then I joined the board in 2019, and then right before COVID, I became the chairman, we were, at the time, not in the best situation, but from the passion of our staff and our board, we were able to right the ship and get, the charity where it is. But, everyone needs a good mentor. And it's important both for the community, mentoring at-risk youth, all the way through to, career mentors. Everyone has a mentor. So, yeah.
All right, so you also work with a program called Hey Blue.
Yes.
So how does technology help bring communities and police together?
Yeah, so Hey Blue, the whole mission of Hey Blue is to work with local law enforcement, and I'm saying local as far as we've got a board member all the way in India. And what the mission is, we do 2 different things. We do story time with a cop, where we bring in local community leaders, wherever your community is, and they read stories with local cops, with kids between preschool and 2nd grade. And then the other aspect of it is selfies with a cop. So if you build up enough reward points by interactions with positive interactions with a cop, both the cop and the community, they take selfies, upload them to the app, and partners like Walmart and Target give money back, and you can get gift cards to the area. So the idea is getting cops out of their patrol vehicles, getting to know the community, and taking selfies with everyone. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's really neat. I got involved back in 2019. I met John Verity, who's a 9/11 first responder. He was trapped under the rubble for 3 days, and he had this epiphany that, hey, I need to do something bigger, and this is what he started. Great guy, and great organization that I really love working with. So,
So out of everything that you've built, you know, from giant screens, giant broadcasts, immersive rides, what are you most proud of?
Honestly, the work that I did with Big Brothers Big Sisters is probably what I'm most proud of. I joke that I can train anyone to do the broadcast engineering work and the video work, and but being able to get into your community and rebuild relationships and help the general public is something that can't be replaced. In terms of my actual work, 'cause that's probably what you were looking for. I was the audio video person for the new Harry Potter at Epic Universe. That's a huge impactful moment for me. The Harry Potter story, it was very important to my life. So being able to be a small part of that was very rewarding as well
Nice.
Yep.
So when you're not working, what do you like to do for fun?
I really like to garden.
Right.
And I also like to play disc golf. And spend time with my dogs. So I am, as I said earlier, I'm very analog in my personal life. So I spend all day fixing everyone else's tech problems. I don't want any more tech in my house. So I broke down last year and finally got a 3D printer, and that was mostly to print things for my garden. So I'm very analog. So yeah, walking my dogs, hanging out with them and my wife, gardening, and disc golf are like my 3 things that I do.
I've tried disc golf at a retreat, middle school retreat. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Yep.
What I would do to do that again.
It's a lot of fun, and Central Florida is a great place for it. There's so many courses all over, and it's all
so many.
Other than Turkey Hill, they're all free. So, yeah.
Well, do you play any video games?
Occasionally, I mostly play like FIFA, Madden, ironically, Roller Coaster Tycoon, and then
favorite one.
I'd have to go with Roller Coaster Tycoon. I've been playing that. I've been playing that since I was in 3rd grade. So it's a lot of fun to try to make all of the guests as nauseous as possible.
Oh yeah,
that you can't do in real life. So it's a lot of fun doing that. Yeah.
You know, ethical in life. Like,
yeah.
There has to be ethics in life, but in video games, you can do whatever you want.
Yep.
But you know what? What's your favorite book to read?
So Harry Potter is my favorite book series. I know that's a cop-out, but so is Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is really far up there on my list.
One of our more cop-outs are the Bible.
And I've gotten... the one I've gotten into because of my friends is anything by Brandon Sanderson. I just finished my first book by him, and they've gotten me onto like the Mistborn series and all that now too. So if you're into the Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings style books, highly recommend Brandon Sanderson if you haven't read.
I've heard of Mistborn.
Yes. So.
Quite eager to read more. But if you could go back and talk to 15-year-old Bryan, what would you tell him?
Dude, you did it. I remember watching the documentary on a broadcast truck for the Super Bowl, and being able to say that I've done that is pretty cool. So I may not have done it the most traditional way, but who does? So, yeah, you did it.
Yeah, you did it. Like, what else can we do?
Pretty cool.
All right, so you know what? What was the biggest mistake that you've ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
So I've got I've got professional mistakes that I've made, and I've got personal ones. The personal one was, there's a lot of personal conflict in being adopted, both internal and external with parents. So not talking to my parents for probably about 3 years was probably my biggest regret. So all the kids out there listening, you may have problems with your parents when you get older. It's not as big of a deal as you think it is. Don't hold grudges. On both sides, parents and child on that one. But so that was a big one that I wish I could take back. But I'm happy. I learned a lot about myself and a lot about life by doing so. The other one, professional mistakes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I've made $1 million mistakes. I've made $5 million mistakes. I've made 2-cent mistakes that caused me more problem than the $5 million mistakes. But it's how you go about fixing them. My advice I always give is own up to the mistake, but also come with different options for solutions on how to fix it. And people tend to like that a lot.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show.
Yep.
But that one story, that you're not supposed to tell me about.
Like what? What kind of
embarrassing story? Something no one knows about you.
So, TV. I'll keep it TV studio related. My first time ever on air, because at the time we were all required to rotate positions, and I was always directing. My teacher's like, Bryan, you need to go on air.
Yeah.
And I have a speech impediment. I'm dyslexic, so I can't read a teleprompter that well. At least I couldn't at the time. And I went on air, and we had lavalier mics, and they were all wired at the time. We didn't have wireless, so my chair, I went to go scoot to turn to the guy next to me after watching him. He was a bat boy for the Philadelphia Phillies, and I went to go say, "Oh, that's really cute. Did they let you keep the uniform?" Just making a joke. And the chair grabbed the cable for the mic and ripped my mic off. So I had no microphone. And I had a panic attack live on air, just like my favorite reporter, Dan Harris, famously had. And that was my first time ever on camera. And then 4 years later, I did play-by-play for almost all my college's sports. And I was on air with, Stephen A. Smith when I did a halftime show where he just walked up and grabbed the extra mic and did a halftime show with me. And so you get over it. It's not that big of a deal. I got made fun of for like a week. It was fine, and everything was good.
Get made fun of for a little bit, and you're fine.
Exactly.
Well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you and like what you do?
It's all about the people. Everyone always focuses on the tech, and you can have the best tech in the world, but if you don't treat your people properly and treat them how you want to be treated, and I should clarify, I don't like that saying. I don't like the saying of treat people, that way. For me, it's actually how do you want to be treated is how you should treat people. And if you treat your team well, you can make anything happen. Yeah. So many people yell and scream and throw their team under the bus, and then it builds resentment. Yeah. But by building a team where everyone's kind of put together, we're not saving lives. It's important. You have to do a good job, but at the end of the day, no one's dying. We're not medical professionals. We're not saving the world. It's not that serious. So just treat people well, and then amazing things will happen.
All right. Well, do you have like a website or like a social media for my listeners who want to follow you?
Not really, no.
All right.
Again, I'm pretty analog. If you do follow me on social media, all my best work is under NDA, so all my pictures are of my dogs. So I got nothing but dog pictures, occasionally coffee, and some really just beautiful landscaping.
There you go.
So yeah, that's all I got.
Well, what's that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
You were very thorough, which I will give you that. Thank you. The only thing that I could possibly think of, is I've lived 3 different kind of lives in my career. So I worked on touring, which is a completely different set of skills, both emotionally and technically. Yeah. I've worked as a broadcast engineer, which is a different set of skills emotionally and there. I've worked in theme parks, which is the most challenging job I've ever had, and I loved every minute of it. And now I work on the vendor side, which I've never done before, and has its own sets of challenges. So being able to jump between fields and careers and kind of mold and gel yourself and taking those lessons with you. It's not really a thing to ask, but more of a, everyone thinks broadcast engineer is broadcast engineer or video engineer.
Yeah.
It's very different fields.
There's definitely different
I know people who've toured, try to get into other areas and missed the tour life. And I know people who have done the broadcast engineer thing and went to touring and hated it. So if it's not for you, it's okay to leave. No hurt feelings. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Thank you, Bryan, for being our special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I can.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
Oh, it keeps going.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners.
And now it's time for Math Corners, my favorite subject. So you know what? Thank you, Bryan, for having me with Math Corners. This week, we're solving multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve. And today, we're going to talk about, some cables for a broadcast engineer. So you might be actually really good at this one. Who knows?
Oh, no.
All right, so a broadcast engineer is setting up equipment for a big championship game. He needs to run cables from the control truck to 6 different cameras around the stadium. Each camera needs 85 feet of cable. He also needs an extra 120 feet of cable to connect everything inside of the control truck. So cables cost $3 per foot. The station has a budget for $2,000 for cable. The question is, how many total feet of cable will you need, and what is the total cost, and will the $2,000 budget be enough?
Great. I actually do this kind of work daily, just not in my head. I have Excel, but yeah, let's do this.
Trying to figure it out now, but 6 times 85. I'll just do it later. Well, first, this is a real world problem because every event is going to need some cables for their cameras, right?
Yeah.
Some people use wireless. I guess, but
they do.
No one really uses.
No, they do. Oh yeah, we like basically any shot. Actually, right now during the Olympics, there's a gentleman, Micah, with wearing a white suit on ice, skating around with a camera wirelessly. It's really cool. Yeah. So
what?
Yeah. So wireless cameras would make this whole problem go away, but they're not as reliable. They're not as reliable though. So you need the cables. You need the cables for reliability.
That's funny. Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know what? First, we have to figure out how much cable is needed for the cameras. There's 6 cameras. Each camera needs 85 feet.
Yep.
So 6 times 85 is carry 3. I believe it's 510 feet of cable. So
pretty close. Yes.
That's a lot. But we still need the 120 for the inside of the control truck, so that it makes it to that 5, 1, 6, 2, 1, 3, 630 feet of cable. So I have to find the cost. So 3 times 630, that's just easy. 63 is 189. Add the 0, you get $1,890, which is under the $2,000 budget. So you'll have an extra $110 to spare.
I just wish that's how much cable actually cost. I like that.
I know, right? Like CS2 cases, they've gone up so much.
Yep.
It's like you want a certain amount of cases, and we're like, oh wait, I can't afford that. But you know what, Bryan? Do you have to ensure that there's enough cable for like all of the cameras, or do you have like other people that deal with that stuff?
No, that's as the project manager and as the head of engineering. No, that's exactly what my job is actually. My job is to go, all right, we need how many connections, it's how many feet away. If I buy it from Belden, it's X cost. If I buy it from Corning, it's Y costs. What's my budget, from the client or for the show? It's something I literally do multiple times a day, actually.
Sweet.
Yeah, so very realistic, thing that we do. I've done a very large rally at Amway that called for over 1,400 fiber connections.
Oh, yeah.
And each of those ran
I
anywhere
grew up the entire
from
summer.
100 feet to a couple miles. So yeah, very real world situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on the tour. I've been throughout the entire facility at
Yeah.
the Emory Center.
Nice.
It's now the Kia Center, which I'm not very happy with the name change. But what do you know? Well, my teacher said that I would use math every single day. How do you use math in your work other than, cables?
Cables, finances. So
yes.
right now, you're as a project manager, I'm looking at, okay, well, I'm behind schedule. I need to throw 3 more engineers at this project, and is that going to make me go over budget? And or what are my margins going to be? And all of the fun things that you don't really care about when you get into the industry when you're 15, 16. But at some point, you have to start doing a lot of math, not just for that, but tracking systems. Is an immense amount of trigonometry, and so yeah. Math all day long, every day.
So kids, go to school, learn math.
Learn math.
Please.
Do all the math. Don't get angry when your dad makes you do math problems on the road like my dad, and apparently Tiberius's dad also does. So, yeah.
I remember the old times table, 16 by 16.
When I started driving, my dad would make me do math problems while driving with him. So, look forward to that.
I want to see one of those speed limit signs that have like a complex math problem you have to solve for x equals speed limit. Good luck, we have cops everywhere.
Yep.
Well, you know what, thank you so much, Brian, for your help with math corners.
You did all the math, so thank you.
Oh, okay. And now it's time for the Heart of the Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the Heart of the Lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. You know what? This week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is the act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. Now, the qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others. Well, the other day, I was helping my dad, deliver a computer with one of his clients. Now, when I say deliver a computer, I don't mean just dropping off a box and, running away. I mean carrying it in carefully, setting it up, plugging in all the cables, testing monitors, make sure the, Wi-Fi works, the whole shebang, whole big thing. When we got there, the client was a little bit stressed because their old computer had crashed. Now, crashes, they're not really good. But they were worried about losing all of their stuff on it because, they wasn't sure if it went to the new computer or not. My dad, he didn't rush, didn't get frustrated, didn't blame the hardware. He calmly reassured that they already got their files backed up and they actually got to work step by step. Converter cables to attach the old monitor to a new one. Went to the car, grabbed some new ones. Just fixing the computer, teaching me how to stay calm with the client. I was under pressure, and by the time we left, the client was smiling. His computer was running smoother, better, way better, actually. And I learned something way bigger than just how to plug in a monitor. I learned, client control. I learned making people happy. I learned how to actually set up the entire computer. But you don't have to run a company or deliver computers to be a leader. You can just lead in your classroom, or on a team, or in your family, or even in a group project when no one else wants to start. Friends, I beg of you, Alexius, Kyler, I beg of you, please. And don't forget that you can always be lion strong. So, Brian, do you have an example of leadership that you saw this week?
So I really like the servant leader mindset, which is even though I'm the one in charge, my entire job is to work for my employees.
Yeah.
My job is solely to make their lives as easy as possible, and if I do that, then they can be successful in their job, so therefore I'm successful. So for me, this week I took over a very complex project, and just going in there and listening. Sometimes the best leader isn't talking. They're listening to what the problems are and what the issues are for their team, and going, okay, and then enacting a plan to help those problems go away. Yeah. So I always like doing the things that my team doesn't like to do as the leader. That's kind of where my leadership goes.
Presentations. I'm like, I'll take it.
Yep.
I'll do presentations.
Exactly.
I can add all the transitions you need. Just give me the info. So, Brian, of all the Heart of the Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most?
Can you repeat them again?
Leadership.
Yep.
Integrity.
Yep. Obedience.
Nobility. I forget them too, don't worry.
I'd say leadership is the one I probably see the most. The nobility, I feel is getting lost, sadly. But I'm seeing it more and more. As it got lost recently, I'm seeing it more, which is nice to see. But yeah, I say leadership. Everyone thinks they're a leader. Doesn't necessarily mean you are. And it's okay. And sometimes if you are a leader, it's sometimes okay to realize that in this situation, you don't have to lead, and you can let one of your employees do it. So, sometimes if you're the head person of a project, sometimes your intern has a really good idea and a really good, ability to run something. You let them run it and let them lead. That's also part of being a leader, is letting someone else take the spotlight.
Yeah, let them do it.
Exactly. So.
Well, you know what? We should always try to be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Agreed, 100%.
And that's our show, folks, today. And I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Bryan Zebleckes for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking to you today. I don't think you understand. I think we learned a lot about your work as a broadcast engineer and so much more. And I had a lot of fun today.
So did I. It was a lot of fun. It was my first time doing something like this in a very long time, so I appreciate you having me on the show, and it was really, really fun.
Yeah, no problem. And also, guys, don't forget that you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show, and I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, Canada 98, Soul Radio 24/7, Easy Way TV, and all the other stations that air on my show. And please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. So, Bryan, tell me you're subscribed.
I am actually, yes.
Oh, yes.
That I am. I live
So he
basically
didn't watch
on
the
YouTube.
show, but he subscribed. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Gail Remp said you should listen to How See Worlds. Here's a song about college. And Fabian NYC says, now that was very entertaining information. Well, thank you, Fabian NYC. And I'm glad that you're enjoying learning new things from my show. And also, please be sure to leave a comment on my videos, and I might even mention yours at the end of the show. And also, be sure to listen to us next to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.